We have now brought in a young horse, my wife Regina. He's 5-year-old, turning 6. We broke him in when he was 4, and then I decided to spell him a little bit. He's a huge horse. He's more than 180 up to the withers, and he was growing. And I take my time with young horses. I don't believe that you gain anything by pushing them when they're young. Often we see that they are progressing very fast, but in the end we risk that they break down prematurely. A lot of our horses don't get older than 8 or 9 years, and I believe that the time you spent in the beginning is good invested. I don't have a lot of horses, so the ones I have I take good care of, and I try to give them a education where I allow them time enough to get strong enough and settled in their brain. This is a very nervy horse. He's not spooky or anything, but he's a very fresh horse. He was a little afraid of his flanks in the beginning, and he reacted quite strongly. But now he starts to settle in work. We have ridden him for 9 months, and he starts to be nice to handle. As you can see, he is quite relaxed here, even though we have a new situation. He's not accustomed for a camera to stand in the corner. So I take my time with young horses. Now, there are certain things we should know about horses. When we talk about these principles we're riding after. And I will spend a little time of talking about the horse if Regina comes here with him. Now, when we started him out for 8 or 9 months ago, he didn't look like that. He starts to muscle up. You can see his top line, and you can see his shoulder and his rump. He starts to look pretty muscled. One thing you should take care of when we're talking about muscles is that muscled is pretty fast to muscle a horse, but it takes 3 times the time to make them strong in the tendons and the ligaments. That means you can have a young horse who actually looks strong in his muscles, but it takes 3 times the amount of time to strengthen the tendons and the ligaments. Often we see our horses breaks down with ligament injuries in the front legs, and that is often because the horse is moving around in an unbalanced way with the weight on his forehand and his shoulders. He goes little circles all the time, and he's not designed for that. He's designed to go straight forward. So it takes time to make a horse able to stand this kind of work. He needs time to accustom to this kind of work. If we overtrain him, he will of course show a lot of sign of this. He might get more and more stressed, and therefore he will run away. He might get more and more lethargic. He will resign. He will work out that this is combined with discomfort. So in the end we might find that he doesn't want to do it anymore. So it's very important with these young horses that you allow them time. Now, what can we say about the horse if we try to stop him here? Well, he's a pack animal. That means he's a social animal. He is used to somebody being in charge. That means if we can kind of get his confidence, well, he will do anything for us. On the other hand, if he doesn't get this confidence, he will be afraid, he will disobey, he will probably run off, or you will face a lot of problems. So a lot of the training with the horse comes actually from the ground, from the stable, from the handling of the horse when we are on the ground. I spend a lot of time with the horses on the ground. I launch them a lot. I work them from the ground, both to get their confidence, but also to prepare them for carrying the rider. And nowadays I find that it's kind of criterion for success how fast you get up on them. I mean, I spent months before I mount them, because you can, of course, if you can certain techniques, teach the horse that it's not dangerous that you mount them, but you need to prepare their body and their physical strength by working them from the hand. And that I feel a little bit nowadays has kind of slipped out in the training. But it's a good invested time to work the horse from the ground. Okay, what could we talk about his brain? He has a brain the size of a walnut. Nothing much is going around in there. It's more or less reflexes and instincts. But I have already mentioned his memory. He has a tremendous good memory, which means that he remembers good things, but also all the bad experiences. And they seems to stick harder in the horse. That means if you teach them things that they are afraid of, you will kind of have a problem, perhaps for life. So it's very important that you do this right in the first phase of the training. The neck. The horse balance with its neck. That means every movement or every thing I do with the neck, upwards or sidewards, lateral, will have some kind of effect on the rest of the body. It's all combined with muscles and ligaments, and so it's very important to know these reflexes from the neck, that when the horse loses balance, he will of course try to balance with his neck. Like when we lose the balance as human beings, we use our arms. If you kind of lock a young horse in the neck and don't allow him to find a balance with his neck, and that means that he goes with his head stuck up in the air, perhaps for periods, he will not find his own balance. When a horse turns, he balances by turning his head outside. You can see that if you take a horse into the arena and let him run around loose. The more he speeds up, the more this tendency to balance, you can see it on a racehorse too, is that he will balance by turning his head outside, to the outside. That means if you're on a young horse, don't allow him to balance this way by using his neck, but try to bend it to the inside. You will have him on the forehand immediately. You will teach the horse to go on the forehand because he has no other alternative. So when we ride young horses, or I ride young horses, I allow them in the first phase of the training to balance freely with their head and neck. He should not look like a trained horse because he's not. He's a young horse in the first year of his training, and he should be allowed to look like a young horse. So the head and neck reflexes are very important to know as a rider. Any jumping rider knows that when a horse faces the jump, if you don't allow the horse to lift his head, he can't put his hindquarters in and he can't jump. So that's another reflex.